Ready to go? All right, very good. Let's welcome FishBowl to the stage. Geoff.
Thanks for having me, Carl. I guess a little bit of background. When I was really young, I grew up around combat flight simulators, and ever since I was 10, 11, 12, I've been fascinated with VR. And from afar or close, I've been following this space for a long time. And then about 7, 8 months ago, after Oculus had started to get a lot of press, and then I read Ready Player One. If you haven't read it, I came back to San Francisco and just kind of threw myself into the VR community, going to events like this every week, and met with dozens and dozens of developers and enthusiasts, and in talking to them, really there were three themes that emerged. And so the first, these kind of quotes represent them. The first is that finding testers is hard. You can post on Oculus Share forums, you can post to the subreddit, you can get friends and family, but generally it's hard to find testers. The second is that VR as a medium especially benefits from honest, structured feedback, because there are so many new kind of elements of what you're developing for. It's not like you can just port over a lot of the mechanics that work well in video games or work well for mobile apps. It's a whole new ballgame, as you kind of all know. And then the third theme was sim sickness, which is obviously very unique to VR, but it's really important to get your app out there and see, for 9 people it might be great, for the 10th person they get sick, and that's obviously a terrible way to experience VR and a terrible first impression for your game. So, my experience is in web and mobile app development, and with those things, you have services out there. I've done user testing with Applause. I don't know if you use usertesting.com, but that's a fantastic service for remote user testing, but when we looked around, there really wasn't anything for VR. So that's what we're building. We're trying to build an on-demand user testing platform to help VR developers get fast, affordable, and actionable feedback. I've got a background in kind of startup growth marketing, as well as analytics and some UX. And then my co-founder Josh, who's in Tokyo now and not here, but was an early employee at Justin TV, helped develop Twitch. He also had his own video game testing platform. I don't know if anyone looking up at this, if Josh looks familiar or not, but he is also the face of the Kappa meme for Twitch, if you're familiar. So that's why he might be familiar looking. So how does it work? To start, you come tell us what you want to test. In the example here with the South Park VR game, it's walk around the space, but then maybe there's something additional you want someone to do. In this example, it was go into the church where they kind of had a special experience in that. So you tell us, what do you want people to test? Who do you want testing? People that are new to VR, experienced with VR, male, female, age, people who are into racing games and the first-person shooters. Then we go farm out the tests along with those instructions. People record both what they're seeing as well as their voice and face while they're doing the test. And then after the test, they answer a post-test questionnaire with questions around whether it's the music, the level of immersion, any area where they were uncomfortable. And then you can add additional questions to get additional feedback. We started out doing case studies with a handful of developers, including D-Rash from Titans of Space. And the response has been really good. About a little over 2 months ago, we opened up signups for beta, and again, the response was really good. We now have over 70 testers with DK2s, another dozen with Gear VR, and a couple dozen with Cardboard. And we've started to do paid tests for a variety of different games, whether it's Darknet on Gear VR, racing games for DK2, this was pre-release on Steam with Motorsport, or as I mentioned before, the South Park VR game. And we've also had great feedback and encouragement from the community, which just really helps kind of motivate us. And I do still do this as kind of as a side project, so it's really encouraging and kind of helps motivate you to put in those extra hours after work. We'd love to have you as a tester or as a developer if you're interested in getting a test. Here's our websites, and that's it. Thank you.
Questions? I actually have one.
Yeah.
So VR is kind of an international enterprise right now, and also there's so many factors as far as person setup, their level of expertise in troubleshooting this stuff. So how much data are you gathering off that end? Like, how much, what system that person have, all that kind of, are getting all that data as well? So you have like stuff that's useful for the dev team as well as just like the UX and UI teams?
That's a great question. So that's part of the app that testers do apply. So that they fill out an application along with the kind of psychographic, demographic information, share system information, and then if that changes, keep it updated. So, yeah.
So with new users, do you like go around and like have like installation for people off the street, or if they pay or not?
That's a good question. Great question. The question was around how do you find people that are new to VR? And something I've been wrestling with for quite a while. I think originally I was going down that thought process, which was try to do events like the Upload VR thing. I don't know how many people went to that last week, but you had a good mix of people that were new. I'm not great at putting on events. What we've actually started to find success doing, and where I think we'll always be going this path for a little bit, is leveraging that network of our existing remote testers to go recruit their friends and family to go try games. So they can get, we do pay testers, we pay them $10 a test at present. Not coincidentally, the cost is $10 because we want people to use the service and see how valuable it is. People that do use it find a lot of value. So it's actually using that network of testers to then go out and bring people in. It may not be the first time, but they certainly will be new to that experience. So I'll answer.
That's great. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Are you accumulating knowledge about what kind of control or display would make people motion sick, or how can you share with us?
Are we? Is the question, am I getting insights about what type of experiences are leading to motion sickness?
Yeah.
Not by genre, right? Because oftentimes of different levels of expertise or development expertise within a given genre. But I think that's something that would be, I envision that being really helpful for the community, where you can kind of share what's working and what's not. I don't know how that really manifests itself yet, but I don't personally have too many insights to date, but I think that kind of the more that people are able to share what is and isn't working, even what elements within a certain game, are going to help everybody accelerate faster, which is what we all want anyway. Right?
Well, in my personal experience, like the cursor key or the controller to turn the camera left and right, that makes me very motion sick.
I certainly experienced that too.
Yeah, so I was wondering what kind of demo or game will have that kind of control, and that relates to people getting sick after the test.
Yeah, again, I certainly don't have the answers now. Being the seated on rails experiences like a Titan space are obviously going to be more comfortable. There are certain types of experiences you want the users to be on. But.
All right, one more. Did you say you roll up the videos of them doing the test, so it actually records them as it's doing that, and you provide that to the people that contracted the deal?
Correct. So it's the main video is what they're seeing, and then the kind of picture-in-picture is what the person experienced. And that's infinitely probably more valuable than the post-test questionnaires. But being able to see, and the other, I guess, key point here is that I've spent a lot of time and most of my effort really educating and training the people that are doing testing to vocalize what you're thinking as you're going through an experience. What's delighting you, what's confusing, because that's not natural, right? Naturally, you're just kind of in your head you're saying that, but and we've gotten to the point where we've got quite a few people that are really excellent at that, and that's really where that's like the secret sauce is the value of the service. So.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know we're behind time.